Well, looks like it's ready time to get started. We're waiting for a few more people to join. But since it's the season, hello Friday and hello holiday. Hello everyone, how are we doing? Welcome to Neuro-Fitness Fridays. Yeah, what are Neuro-Fitness Fridays? A lot of people ask, can you summarize that in a really simple statement? And I think Neuro-Fitness Fridays are our opportunity to take back control of our brain, um, take back control and develop a winning brain, get our brains in shape. We're going to focus on one topic every Friday, and we're going to do that and provide some tools to help us reboot and refresh our brains, help us cope, and hopefully, just maybe, get us a little bit inspired for moving forward and reducing the stress that we have. While we're waiting for some other people to join, we're going to get ready and do our warm up. We do have a very, very exciting topic today. It's how to thrive in a holiday unlike any other. And I'm going to give you 4 strategies in order to do how to do that. And share with you some exciting tips that it will hopefully help you. Our warm up, remember, we have 3 quick warm up exercises. The first one is giving our brains the gift of oxygen. We need to breathe. So let's do our 4x4 breathing 2 times, 2 cycles. Breathe in 4 counts through your nostrils and exhale 4 counts through your mouth. Ready? Okay, that was good. I feel better. Hope you do as well. Second warm-up exercise. We're going to give ourselves the gift of focus. Anything we were thinking about before this time and before this meeting started, we're going to compartmentalize it, put it off to the side, and just focus on one thing, and that's what we can learn and what we can do for ourselves over the next 30 to 40 minutes. So take whatever you had in your brain that was sitting in the front of your brain or maybe nagging at you in the back of your brain, take it, put it aside and say, I'm not going to do anything about that for the next few minutes. I'm going to put it aside and focus on learning how to thrive in a holiday like no other. And the third key warm up is taking that pen or pencil and a piece of paper and writing down one thing we're grateful for. One thing we're grateful for, that act of practicing gratitude, which we talked about last week. That act of practicing gratitude puts our brain in a very positive forward state. So write down that one thing that you're grateful for. Speaking of gratitude, last week people shared what they were grateful for during the time of COVID. And I got some feedback that was very positive, and a lot of people found it interesting. A lot of people found it helpful, and a lot of people found it even inspiring. So if you remember, for those of you that had joined me last week, there was a gratitude assignment. You had a weekend assignment to show some weekend appreciation at least 2 times, one to a loved one close to you, and one to a business colleague, sharing a genuine, specific piece of gratitude to make sure that that was heard. Now, I want anyone who was with me last week and that actually did the assignment and followed through on that, if you could share in the chat box how it made you feel at that moment, and maybe others can benefit from your feelings and your gratitude practice. So just type in the chat box how that, if you did the homework assignment, how it made you feel right after you were able to share that specific gratitude. And I think others would benefit from that as well. All right. We're going to talk today, get rid of that. We're going to talk today about how to thrive in a holiday unlike any other. 2020 has been pretty much difficult for everybody. The level of change, the level of uncertainty, the level of loss of social connections, in-person social connections, where you could, smile at someone, shake their hand, give them a hug. We miss those things, and our brains miss those things too. Our brains miss those things as well. All of those things put added pressure and stress on us and our brains. Now, if we look at the 2020 holiday season, we have change, we have uncertainty, we have loss of social connections, and we have all of that plus more. We have all of that plus a loss of traditions and a loss of the traditional comforts that we're normally used to. Our brain, in its desire to protect us, really has, when we lose, focuses not on what's going on around us in 2020, but the default mechanism is what we don't have this year versus previous years, what we don't have versus last year or the year before, or what we don't have that we always used to have. That focus on loss and loss of tradition and loss of traditional comforts is a big hit. It's a hit to our self-respect. It's a hit to our, and it increases our stress level. It makes us pull back. It makes us withdraw. It makes us retreat. It makes us sometimes play the victim role. If you find yourself saying things like, this holiday season is no good. Why is this happening to me? Why does it have to be this way? I think you find yourself, you're playing the role of the victim. So what you really want to do is, fight those feelings, because all that's going to make you do is feel sad, feel frustrated, and feel more prone to anger. So I'm going to share with you a little story that it will dramatize to you how this played out in real life to me. Thanksgivings with my dad were always a really, really special time. When I was growing up, I had a thing called a paper route. For those of you that know what physical newspapers were, and the fact that young men used to, or boys and girls used to deliver them door to door on what was called a paper route from the front of their bicycles. On Thanksgiving morning, my dad always helped me with my paper route. And then we went home while my mom was cooking, and we had a traditional Thanksgiving breakfast. Our traditional Thanksgiving breakfast revolved around Polish sausage, rye bread, and a lot of baked goodies, if you will. We then watched all the parades we possibly could until the Detroit Lions football game started. That was Thanksgivings with my dad. The morning of Thanksgiving was a cherished time. After my dad passed away, the first Thanksgiving after my dad passed away, I didn't really want to celebrate Thanksgiving. I didn't want to feel the loss. I didn't want to feel the sadness. I didn't want to feel the hurt. I withdrew, and I made myself miserable. But then I realized the stress I was creating for myself, wasn't just hurting me. It was hurting the loved ones around me. It was hurting my family. So I made an active choice to say, it's okay to miss my dad, but I choose not to suffer. I choose to think about the fact that the memories that I have in my brain of those experiences with my dad growing up were powerful, positive memories that were a gift to me that I can hold on to for the rest of my life. And I chose to focus on the positive memories that gave me the dopamine hit and the pleasure and the joy moving forward. So choosing not to suffer, but choosing to think about how you can think about those things in a more positive way is an active choice that you can make. So this holiday season, don't think about the loss of, well, I can't do this or I can't do that or we won't be able to do this. Don't think about the loss. Think about either the memories you had or think about some of the things we're going to talk about in this session of how you can create some new, powerful, new positive brain maps and brain experiences. All right, let's go. I'm going to share with you 4 strategies for this holiday season. Before we do that, though, I want to talk about just a little bit, this holiday season. Physical holidays are always a time to wind down physically, wind down from work, wind down just from the hectic stress of day-to-day life. This holiday season, however, there's going to be less family and friend time, at least on a physical basis. There's going to be less vacation time. People aren't going to be going off to Disney World or going off to the ski resort or going off to see grandma and grandpa in Vermont. Right? They're not going to be doing that. They're going to be having that extra time void. And I sadly read a report the other day that said that fully 25% of people said they were going to fill that time void with checking in on work regularly. It's like, wow, 25% of people are basically just going to keep doing what they're doing. I think you're gypping yourself, and I think you're gypping your brain. So let's think about, I'm not saying don't do the work that needs to get done if you must do the work, but let's still figure out how we can replace some of those missing experiences with friends and family, those missing experiences with travel and vacations, and how we can replace it with other things that will create some powerful brain maps that you can hold on to for years to come. Because you still need to recharge your brain. You still need to lift it up, and you still need to re-engage and do those things. Yeah. Can we see that? Yes. Okay, great. Thank you. All right, so the first strategy and the first question you should ask yourself, is, what positive spin can I possibly put on this? It is really easy to fall into the, oh no, not this again, but how can we change, oh no, not this again, to, hey, you know what, we've done this before. Putting a positive, powerful spin on it. The words lockdown, the words restriction are very powerful negative words. Maybe we want to think about it as a celebration of health and hope for 2021 and a vaccine. We're celebrating our health, our family's health, keeping everyone healthy so that 2021 can be an absolutely phenomenal year. Yeah, let's change, oh no, not this again, to we've done this before and we can do this. Maybe your positive spin is, I don't have to attend those gosh awful holiday parties where people are dressed in ugly sweaters and I really didn't want to go to them, but I had to because I felt obliged to go. I don't have to do those anymore. That's a great thing. I'm uplifted. Maybe that's a benefit that you get, positive spin you can put on this. There's always a way you can think about reframing a situation and looking for the positive in that. Training your brain to look for the positive in any situation is a very powerful way to develop resiliency. The old expression that says we can be really sad that rose bushes have thorns, or we can be really happy that thorn bushes have roses. Right? I'd like you to take a moment right now and share with the rest of the group, for all that's going on, what's one positive spin that you can put on 2020 holiday season? Share that with the group in the chat right now, because I think people will respond to that and will pick up on your idea and say, hey, yeah, that's right. Maybe that works for me too. So type it in. The second strategy that we're going to talk about, I'm going to talk about trying something new, starting a new tradition. One of the things I read, I was amazed about, this year's sale of live Christmas trees has been greater than ever before. People who grew live Christmas trees are selling them out faster than, and they're one live Christmas tree place close to my home here in Kentucky put up a sign last week that said closed for season. They sold all of their trees. And more people are reaching out and buying live Christmas trees for the first time. Try something new. Start a new tradition to replace something that's been taken away. So again, don't focus on the loss of something that's been taken away, but focus on something new. The newness, the new experience, will really activate the learning circuits in your brain. It will create new memories, new positive things. Trying something new is very powerful for your brain. The wiring and the neurochemicals that feed on new experiences and the ability to adapt and to seek out new things is a very powerful way to engage your brain in a positive learning mindset. Maybe something new you want to try is just spending more time on you. Oftentimes you live your life with, putting your work first or your family first, and you're always, taking a backseat to other priorities, so if you will. But why don't you prioritize yourself? Maybe that's something you could do. Maybe one time, just try to explore the pleasure of taking a nap. Naps are powerful things. For those of people who lose out on sleep, a 20-minute nap can refresh you and improve your prefrontal cortex and your decision-making ability up to 30%. A 20-minute nap is a very positive thing. Maybe you want to improve the connections that you have with close friends over Zoom. Saying I'm not going to be going to doing this. I'm not, someone commented they're not going to have to be at work. But maybe you want to take time out, reach out to some of those friends and make a connection with them over Zoom. Explore the intimacy and the friendships and reconnect with some people maybe you haven't spent enough time with over the past year or so. That will be that social connection and that reconnection will be a positive reinforcement to your brain. Try something new, and that will be a very good thing for your brain. The next thing I think is very good for your brain, strategy number 3, is stay curious. Curiosity and learning something new is an extremely powerful thing for your brain. They talk about people in the blue zones. The people in the blue zones are people who are 90 plus, and they try to explore what are the lifestyle components of people who live in these blue zones. Well, one of them is that the people who live in the blue zones are always learning something new, exploring, keeping their minds active, keeping their minds fresh. And I don't mean playing online computer games or brain games online. All those things do is get you to figure out different patterns, and they're not stretching the curiosity muscles. They're not stretching the neural pathways of your brain. They're just working a specific region of your brain. But learning something new. Now, in the next week and a half, 2 weeks between here and the new year, you're not going to have time to learn the piano. But maybe you're going to have time to try a new recipe or read a new book that you want to do about a subject you haven't thought about. Explore a topic, go wander through, virtual library on Amazon and pick out a new book that you may be interested in on a new topic. Explore that. Maybe you want to explore a different part of the neighborhood of your hometown on a drive-by and looking at a different part of a neighborhood and thinking about that. Maybe you want to read a magazine that you haven't read before. Try something new, whatever it is. And that newness will add curiosity. It will add an uplifting positivity to your brain and release very powerful chemicals. Okay, so our first strategy was reframing and put positive spin, and we got some good suggestions. The next one was new traditions, and this is about staying curious. I'd like people to now jump into the chat box and offer up what new traditions can you start this year. Give some ideas to the group. What new traditions can you start? And maybe what new thing might you consider doing to learn something new? Let's see what you got. See what you got. I'm not seeing anything, people. Nobody has anything new. Someone has something new. With my extended Italian family, we did Zoom the night before, and they want to do it again for Christmas. Great. That's a new thing, a new tradition. Thanks, Laura. What else we got? What else do we have? Anything else? Anybody else have something new? Anybody else have an idea they want to explore, a book they want to read, a recipe they want to make? Something. Anything new? Anything that you heard about so-and-so did this? I had a friend who, wanted to learn a new board game. It's a great new thing. Try something new. More cooking, baking biscuits and gravy for Christmas morning. All right, Eric. That sounds wonderful. Anybody else? Keep plugging them in there. Keep plugging them in there. All right. Strategy number 4. Strategy number 4. Very, very important. And it's very simple. And it actually is probably one of the ones that's most powerful and the most fun. Play. Just play. I had my neuroscientist, one of my instructors at one of the programs I certified in, she called it DEAR time, DEAR, which was an acronym for drop everything and relax. Yeah, how often do we just set ourselves up and just allow our brains to play, allow our brains to unplug and just have fun, just for the joy of the moment? How much do we do that? How often do we do it? The answer, probably not often enough. Our brains enjoy and actually thrive on a state of play. Very positive chemicals get released in our brain when we're playing. The joy that's created through play develops a very positive motivation for us and puts us in a toward mindset as opposed to an away mindset. Play. Do whatever you can to play with yourself, with others. We talked about the fact that our brains need oxygen, our brains need proper nourishment, our brains need exercise and movement, our brains need sleep, but our brains need play too. Our brains need play too. Play. Laugh as much as you can. Our brains thrive on laughter. The chemicals and positive chemicals that are released are very strong. Even the simple act of smiling. The simple act of smiling releases positive dopamine in your brain. So if you can imagine that just turning up the corners of your mouth and smiling will make you happier, imagine what a good belly laugh will do for you, right? Laugh and as much as you can. Play and laugh at least one time per day, at least one time per day uh, during this holiday season. Your brain will thank you for it. All right. I want to just really briefly recap our 4 strategies to deal with this holiday season, unlike any other. First one, what positive spin can you put on it? We've got some good ideas and some good angles. We have some that were shared in the chat box. Look at the positivity of it and not the negativity of it or the loss of it. Don't focus on what we are going to be missing. Focus on what we have and what positive can come out of this. The second one is what newness can we create? What new tradition? What new activity? What new event? What new feeling can we put in? You know, maybe we want to try to, we're not going to be able to go do on this vacation, but we're going to go and create the morning family walks or something. I mean, whatever it is that you're going to start something new. That newness will create a positive new experience and a positive new brain map for you. Third one, stay curious, stay learning. Read those new books, try those new recipes, stay curious. The curiosity and the learning is something that's very powerful. And lastly, play. You know, the notion of play is very powerful. Taken together, these 4 things will help you cope, and they'll help you hopefully thrive over the next couple of weeks of the holiday season. They're like, I call it fertilizer for your brain. You know, the reframing, the play, the curiosity, and the new experiences. Fertilizer for your brain over the holidays. Before we talk about what we're going to do for 2021, which is super, super exciting, I just want to remind everybody that I am in the Neuro-Fitness Program special. Neuro-Fitness Program is a 5-session program. It's pretty intensive with workbooks. It's going to be run on Tuesday. There's a few slots left. You can check out all the details on my website, www.neurofitness.com, and let you know that that's there. I'm going to pause or actually stop my screen share. We're going to, I'm going to talk about now, what are we going to do for 2021? And now I'm going to be sharing with you the registration for 2021 over the next few days. So be on the lookout for that. In 2021, we're going to start on Friday, I believe it's January 8th, with a much needed topic. On Friday, January 8th, we're going to talk about how to set and achieve brain smart goals, right? How many people on this call have set a New Year's resolution only to have it like go sideways within like a week? You know, so we're going to talk about how to set motivating and how to set and achieve motivating goals according to the way that your brain will respond and help you, right? So how to set brain smart motivating goals for 2021. So that'll be our first topic. Be on the lookout for that. And I think we have, right now, if there's any questions, let's open it up to questions. I think there's a question here. Is it worth to push yourself for keeping positive thinking, even if the reality is it's not positive? There's some, certainly there are some situations where where there's people with intense grief and intense suffering. There is um, a need to grieve and the significant loss. But in the most of our lives and the experiences that we have, as we talked about in the first session, the brain's default mechanism, and because its number one job is to protect us, the brain's default mechanism is that bad is stronger than good and fear is stronger than hope and that threats are stronger than rewards. We need to fight to push towards the positivity in any way we can because otherwise that's the place that you can either choose suffering or you can choose motivation. So what I'm offering here is that the brain's default mechanism will be to always retreat and to go towards the self-protection mode. If you want to, and what that usually results in is extra stress and extra cortisol being released in your body, and it creates extra stress. We create more imaginary drama, we create more suffering. So if you can at all find the positivity in a situation, to seek for it. It may be very difficult, but maybe you say, if you can't find the positive in a situation, ask somebody, think about yourself like, how would somebody else think about the situation? And that's why we tried to share some things here. How would another person think about this? How would the smartest person I know think about this? Try whatever you can to look for what positive spin you can put on something. That thought process in and of itself will be enough to dampen some of the negativity in your own mind. And just, keep, like I said, maybe, sometimes it's just like putting one foot in front of the other and saying, let's make a step each time and each day and move forward a little bit. And that can be a powerful, positive motivator. But so depending on where you are on where a person is on the suffering scale or the challenge scale or the difficulty scale or the sadness scale or the, resentment scale, I think that there's never a good outcome and a good brain place to be by staying in that place. And there's always an exit strategy from that place rather than playing in the role of the victim and finding out how you get out of that place and actively choose not to suffer, but actively choose to find a more positive path. And the choice towards trying positivity is a powerful choice as well. Any other questions we have? Any other thoughts on this session? Any other thoughts on the holiday season? No more thoughts? Chris, you've had a couple of thoughts today. You've chimed in. Any more thoughts, Chris? Well, no more. I will close this Neuro-Fitness Friday 2020 season by saying, hello, Friday. Hello, holidays. Hello, hope. I'm ready for what's next. I want to thank you all from the bottom of my heart for joining me for this 1, 2, or maybe all 3 sessions that you joined. I look forward to 2021 and starting these up again, and hopefully you'll join me on this continued journey. I wish you all a blessed holiday. I wish you all a restful holiday, and I wish you all a holiday of new experiences, new memories, and lots of laughter. God bless you. Thanks.